Well, the Daughters of Charity have been involved in healthcare since 1633, which is, what, about 342 years. They started out back in Paris, France, going out into the homes of the poor to take care of their illnesses, to bring them food, and to care for them in their homes when they weren't able to get into hospitals or healthcare institutions of any type.
So they started out administering their own programs.
Right.
Why did you become a nun?
That's a long story. I think primarily my main reason was because of the fact that I felt that this was my calling in life or my vocation in life, just as a woman knows that she's to be a mother or that this is her occupation, or she wants to go into nursing, or she wants to be a teacher. I felt that I wanted to be a religious. At the same time, I also wanted to be a nurse because I wanted to be able to take care of people and to serve people and to help those that needed help in any way that I could help them.
Is it possible that it was partly because you knew you could go further in health care as a nun rather than as a layperson?
At that time, no. I don't think I gave it any thought at all. I think now when I look back, and I probably have gone further than I would have if I hadn't been a religious. But at the time, all I was interested in doing was helping people and being of service to others. And I felt that this was my calling from God. I felt that this is what God wanted me to do with my life. And that's my primary, reason for going into a religious community.
You probably can't answer this objectively, but to what extent are women capable of coping with the hassle of running a major hospital operation, including the supervision of men?
Yeah, I can't be that objective. I think it's more, I personally feel that it's sometimes more difficult for women because women tend to be a little bit more subjective than men are. And I say this all the time, and some of the men tell me, no, that's not really true. I feel that a woman has to discipline herself a little bit more in doing it and being objective, not letting her heart enter into the things and the decisions that she has to make, but using her head or her mind to do it with more than a man does. I think a man does this by his own nature, by his personality. It has a lot of pressures to it. I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenges. But I don't know that all women would. It is a difficult question. I've thought about it over the years, and since I really got into administration, I've thought about it too. And I think a woman really has to make herself look at a situation with a little bit more objectivity, and not just with her heart and how she'd like to do it.
Let me try to talk this question through because it's going to be difficult. Are you in the position you are because of your personality or your studies, or because mostly you are a nun and fall within a certain classification, having completed a certain amount of education? To what extent are you personally responsible for where you are today?
I think to a great extent. It's personality, it's your ability as an individual, it's your interests. If you're interested in, our community does not put someone into administration unless you personally are interested in doing it. And if you show an aptitude for it and the personality to be able to do it, as well as the intelligence to be able to do it. It's not just because I'm a religious. It also has to do with your own abilities and your personality as well.
Are there more opportunities for women in religious orders than outside them?
I don't know if there's more opportunities. I do know that if you look at your professional organizations, for instance, the American College of Hospital Administrators, the majority of them are men. The women that you do see there, the majority of the women that you do see there are religious women. You go to your Catholic Hospital Association, and the majority of the administrators there are women, but it's because they're religious, and they're religious women. So I guess if you use that as a criteria for it, you could say, yes, that there is more opportunity for religious women to become hospital administrators. I think now, with women becoming more interested and going on in management, that there will be more women in hospital administration than there have been in the past.
Have you ever felt oppressed? Have you ever had occasion to?
No, I never have. In my whole life, I've never felt it.
You don't feel that you are being held back as a woman?
No. Mm-mm. But I think I learned that from my mother. My mother always was, I think she taught me to respect the fact that I was a woman, to be proud of the fact that I was a woman, and to realize what my particular attributes and contributions to life and to other people were because of the fact that I was a woman, and to be proud of it.
Do you have any sympathy at all, and I don't know really how to phrase this, with women's liberation or the women's fight for equality?
I think from what other people have told me, and I really have never, I can't say that I've ever experienced any discrimination because of the fact that I was a woman, but other women will tell you this. Women who are working out in the business world will tell you that they have been discriminated against because they are women. They hold down the same job as a man and they don't receive the same salary, etc. I personally have never experienced any type of discrimination. I think it's primarily because I happen to know that I'm a woman. I'm proud of the fact that I'm a woman, and I just have never let anybody make me feel like I wasn't equal to them. I feel I'm equal to any man, and I have been fortunate in that the jobs that I've held down, I have been treated equally to any men in that particular area.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and Mr. and Mrs. Edward Cox.
And the crowds, the one that
We are flag wavers in Alabama, and we don't mind admitting it because we love this great nation, because we know that whatever problem we have in these United States of problems, any other nation would be glad to swap their problems for those that we have, because theirs are so much worse than any problem that we have or could have. But to get to what I'm supposed to do, and I'm glad to do it, is to welcome the President of the United States to Alabama and to say to him that he has honored not only Huntsville but Alabama by his second attendance in this state. And as Governor of Alabama, I'm proud of your visit. And in presenting you to these great people who are assembled here, Alabamians and some from other states, I say God bless you, Mr. President.
I think, for example, of that character in the personal terms of the individual who has introduced me so eloquently a few moments ago. I think he will remember the day that I visited him at the hospital shortly after the totally senseless attack was made on his life. I went in and talked to him for a few moments, and afterwards, Mrs. Wallace will remember I came out and gave her my appraisal, not as a doctor, but as a layman, of how he was doing. And I said, I know nothing about the physical prognosis, But I know one thing. There's nothing wrong with his spirit. He has the will to live. He'll come back. He's going to make it. And he did, because he's got that strength. And so when any of you may have your concerns about this setback or that, remember that there have been men and women in our history who have survived great problems, and the more difficult they are, the stronger they become. That's what made America. And then there's one final element of the greatness of this country that I refer to, and it is this. America has always been driven forward by a sense of destiny.
The vote of public confidence sought by Mr. Nixon was apparently received here today in the Rocket City. This is George Mitchell, WSFA TV News in Huntsville, Alabama.
I plan to be in the cattle business here in Montgomery, and I'll be around with you people and tell all the people hello for me.
How do you feel?
I feel very good. Feel very good, and good health. Feel real strong and good.
Let me ask you this. What do you plan to do from now on? Are you going to be in business, or are you going to be in politics?
Oh, I will be in business. I'll be in business primarily, as I say, in the cattle business, and then I'll be practicing law again in the not too distant future.
You will be practicing law?
I surely will be.
Did you do any writing or any reading while you were at Maxwell?
Oh, I did a great deal of thinking, a great deal of reading. I surely did.
Do you feel like you have any malice toward anybody or anything?
No, there is no infusion of personal animosity toward no one.
Do you think you might ever go into politics again?
We'll just have to see what the future holds.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
What I ran on 4 years ago. You can't protect the people of this state and give them the protection they're entitled to. You can't represent the people of this state unless you are active. So when some critics call me overactive, I'm very proud of that fact. I'm very flattered and proud when people say that I'm the most active Attorney General in history, because I think that's the way it should be, the way it should have been all along. Now, 3 years ago, when I was sworn in, one that January day, pretty cold out here on the steps of the Bar Association. I want to read you a quote from the remarks that I made. You can go back to your files and pick it up in toto. At that time, when I took the oath, I stated, there will not be a single Alabamian during my term of office, regardless of his or her wealth, their influence, or their position, that will not be subject to prosecution if they break the laws of this state. In a like manner, every citizen of this state is entitled to the fullest protection and benefit of its laws without regard to their age, their race, their income, or their station in life. And that pledge that I made 3 years ago is I've tried to make that my guide during the time that I've been Attorney General. All I'm going to say is that we are going to continue, if I'm reelected, doing the exact same thing that we have done the last 3 years. We're going to call the shots as we see them. We're going to do what we feel like is our duty, our sworn duty, to protect the people of the state, regardless of whose toes we step on. And during the election, I'm going to hold my head up and face the people and ask humbly for the chance to serve 4 years again based on what we've done the last 3. And without mentioning any words, to tell the people that if I am reelected, we'll continue to do the exact same things throughout the next 4 years.
The American dream of more peace and more prosperity. And so we have solved some problems, but we have others, of course, that face us. And it's with that dedication to the solution of those problems that face us now, and a pledge to work toward the full attainment of opportunities that will provide a better way of life, as I've said, for every Alabamian, that I am asking you, the people of Alabama, to allow me the privilege of serving you another term as governor of Alabama. By working together, we can approach the future with the assurance that Alabama will continue to be a leader among the states of our nation. Yes, in announcing for governor for this unprecedented 3rd term, I might say to you that of the voters of Alabama, and I have done the best that I could over the years to make you a good governor. My whole being has been tied up in trying to do what government ought to do to make Alabama a better place in which to live. And I want to... because we know that every person in this state is a citizen of this state and entitled to the opportunities that every one of us who assembled here today are entitled to.